Azam Part 222, Double Nelson. Early in November 1939, Lin Lithgow invited Gandhi, Rajendra Prasad and Jinnah to a joint discussion. He claimed that this lack of prior agreement between the major communities, such as would contribute to harmonious working in the centre, was primarily responsible for delays in constitutional progress. He was therefore asking them to meet among themselves and submit agreed proposals, which could be considered for some expansion of the Governor-General's Council at the centre. It seemed that Lin Lithgow was not prepared to allow the Congress to return to power, save on his chosen terms. The Congress rejected the Viceroy's proposals on the ground that the crisis in India had been caused by the Viceroy's declaration of India as a belligerent without the consent of the people. The Congress had not resigned because of any conflict with the League, for which reason there was no fresh necessity to work out any agreed proposals. The negotiations, the Congress claimed, failed because of the fundamental differences between the Congress and the British government. Lin Lithgow did not, in his public statement on the failure of his talks, refer even once to the conflicts between the British and the Congress, but only to that between the Congress and the League, thus giving ground for suspecting that this main objective in arranging these talks was to use them for advertising differences between the two, and to claim that any persisted despite the British efforts. An entire British freedom movement had sadly now got centered on Hindu-Muslim rivalry. The focus against the British Raj had diffused its core not centrally against the empire anymore. The Congress leaders did meet Jinnah, but no agreement could be reached as Jinnah's position was delicate. He could not openly refuse to be a party to the Congress demands for a declaration of war aims. If he did decline, he would promptly be branded as unpatriotic and pro-British. At the same time, he could not very well support the Congress without first obtaining some concessions for the League, because were he to do so, he would not only earn the disfavor of the government, but also strengthen the Congress, and that too clearly at the expense of the League. He therefore sidestepped the main discussion by putting forward 5 conditions as his price for cooperating with Congress. Coalition ministries should be formed in the provinces. No measure should be passed by legislatures if 2/3 of the Muslim members objected to it. The Congress flag should not be flown on public buildings. The singing of Vande Mataram should be abandoned, and the Congress should stop its campaign of mass contact of the Muslims. It was hardly likely that the Congress could concede even one of these, but Jinnah did throw the onus of reaching a settlement or failing to back on the Congress. There is enough evidence in the preceding paragraphs to offer that Jinnah at this stage was working on the collaboration with the Viceroy. In an interview with Lin Lithgow, Jinnah admitted that Gandhi had inquired of him whether it was possible for the Congress and the Muslim League to jointly demand the declaration for which the Congress had been pressing the British government. Jinnah was thus placed in an embarrassing position and had difficulty in refusing to support the Congress demands. The Congress leader warned that unless Jinnah was prepared to join them in putting up a demand, he would be exposed before the public as the real obstacle to India's independence. In this situation, Lin Lithgow decided to call off the idea of an all-parties conference which he had planned to convene in order to expose the hollowness of the Congress claim to speak for the whole India.